The shadow of Socrates in a fallen city in the late 5th century before Common Era BCE, Athens was no longer itself. The glory of a democratic empire had faded after a bitter defeat in the Peloponnesian War. The city was mired in political instability, where demagogues could manipulate the masses and the democratic ideal was tarnished. Amidst this chaotic backdrop, a young man named Aristocles, later known as Plato, was born around 428 or 427 BCE, hailing from a noble and wealthy family, with a lineage said to trace back to the last kings of Athens and even the god Poseidon. Plato seemed destined for a glorious political career. However, that destined path took a sharp turn when he met Socrates. Socrates was unlike anyone else in Athens. He was not a politician or a rhetorician, but a gadfly of the city, a teacher who wrote no books but left an indelible mark through his relentless dialogues. His method was simple yet powerful. To ask questions, he challenged preconceptions, dismantled hollow beliefs, and forced his interlocutors to confront their own ignorance. For the young Plato, Socrates was not just a teacher but the embodiment of true wisdom. This profound master-disciple relationship shaped Plato's entire life and thought, to the extent that nearly all of his 36 later works were written as dialogues, with Socrates often as the central character, guiding the discussion. Then, tragedy struck. In 399 BCE, the very Athenian democracy that Plato was expected to serve condemned his beloved teacher to death. This event was not just a historical incident. It was a profound trauma, a fatal cut into Plato's faith in the contemporary political system. It exposed a brutal truth. A state ruled by popular opinion could be lethally wrong, could kill its wisest man. The death of Socrates permanently extinguished Plato's political ambitions and instead ignited in him another flame. A lifelong philosophical quest to answer the questions this tragedy had raised. How can a just state be built? A state that would honor, not execute, its wisest citizens. Plato's entire philosophical career, from his harsh critiques of democracy to his construction of an ideal state, stemmed from this pain of loss. His philosophy, therefore, was not a mere academic choice, but a necessary response to political and personal trauma. The execution of Socrates by the Athenian democracy was irrefutable proof that existing systems of governance were fundamentally flawed and unjust. Plato's search for the philosopher king in an ideal republic was not a theoretical exercise, but a direct attempt to create a system that could prevent such a catastrophe from occurring. In a sense, his entire philosophy is an indictment of the world that killed his teacher. In this process, Plato created a fascinating paradox. He immortalized a man who never wrote a word by making him the hero of dozens of works of philosophical literature. This creates a tension that is both literary and philosophical. Socrates' method was living, oral dialogue. Plato chose the written dialogue form to preserve this method. In doing so, however, he froze the fluid Socratic method into a fixed text and put his own mature doctrines, like the theory of forms, into his master's mouth. This shows Plato's work as both an act of supreme loyalty, preserving Socrates' memory, and a necessary departure, developing a philosophical system that Socrates himself never systematically presented. The story of Plato is also the story of how he both honored and ultimately transcended his teacher. The theme Kuch Pphan Vau NCM 399 TC Chin Nan Dan Chuk Athens Ma Plato Ting GGCK Von SN Fac VNGK Kenti Unti Hungi Thai Kien UCA M Chen SS Kion Ne Kang Chilo MT Bin CC Luch SP Norlaw MT Chen Thong So SCC MTV GTC T Kai Meng Vau Niam Tin Ca Plato GVVH Thung Chin Trop Hung Thi No Phi Bay MTSS That Tan Nan MT9 GC GGC GGC Citro BYY Kin CASP Hong Ko The Psi LMMT Cash Show T Ko The Git Chat Gi Yan Ankon Ngon Ingon Kai Chat Ca Socrates G Van Vindienpi T Tham Ben Chintro Ca Plato Va Thay Vau Ko Thap Lan Trong Ang MT Engle Kok MT Kwok Triteen TM Trit HCC Kia Daisut GGIG Turvliing Nunkao Haima Theme Kuchne GJ Tree Lambda Now G Zai Dung MT9 GC Kang Benang MT Not Inch CSN Tunbin Kia Kang Fihan Quite Nung Gi Koneng Tone BNSS Gayup Trit HCCCA Plato T Nung Li Shatrichke GTGVV Shuk G Dan Shuk Shohan Vixi Dung Mihan Na NGCL Hu BT Ngun TNT Cow MTT Matne Trit HCCCA Duko Kangfi Law MT Lua Chen HCC That Hun Thung Ma Law MT Fanning TTU Turchak Chen Thong Chin Trova K Nan Viak Nan Dan Chuck Athens XT Socrates Law Benang Ching Kang the Chu CI Rang Kook H Thung Quen Trohan Koji Psi LMV Biak T Kang MT Cash C Bun Kwok Tin TM Kim Vuad Trit Gia Vein Non Kong Hoa LS Town CA Plato Kang Phi Law MT by Tine PL Ma Law MT and Luk Trok Tip Nam Tara MTH Thung Ko The Ingan Chan MT Theme H Way Navi TDA VTID Theo MT Gia Now Ko Tone bien trit HCCCA Anglo MT Bun Luon Toi Chang. Lay the GGG Get Chota Githai CAM Chen Trong Qua Tren Ne. Plato G2RA MT Guchels HMD and Ang Gbia. Tihoi MT GG Chabo Gig Vit MT Chi Now Bunde Cash Bin. Ang Fan Gi. Hung Trong Hang Chak. Tasi. Von HCC, Trit, HCC, H High, Natura, MTSS, Hung Thung VA Mang, Tin Van HCC VA Mang Tin Trit HCC Fang Fap C, Socrates Law, G Thoi San Yong Benning Lia, Plato G, Chen Hun Fik, G Thoi Benning Ven Bun Jibo, Tien Fang Fap Ne, Tu Neon Ki Lam Navi. Ang Ji Hong Bang Fang Fap Socratic Lin Hot, Vau MT Ven Bun CC Han V, Jate Nung HCC Fight, Chin Mugi Chin, M, Nethite Han Va Vau Myang CAG Gi Thai, Ihon Ne Chothi Tai Si Fachum Ca Plato Va Law, MT Hanyong Trung Than, Tuyat Jibo TNKNX SEA Socrates, VA Law MTSS Kihan CNN Thitfat Trione MTH Thumb, Trit HCCMA Chin Socrates Chabo Gigtrim, Bay MT Cash Co H Thumb, Cao Chion VA Plato Kung Law Cao Chion VA Kashang VA Tunbin VA Koi Kung GVIT Wei Koi Gi Dai CAMG.